This brand is losing sales every single day, and it's not because of a product problem. It's because customers are misunderstanding the product description page. And I'm going to break down these reviews the way a QA engineer does and show you the two real defects in the PDP and what's really damaging the brand reputation. Before I go through everything, I want you to keep count with me. We're going to go through 10 reviews, 10 of them all 1-star reviews. How many do you think are going to be a genuine QA defect? Hold that number in your head because by the end of the video, I think that number will surprise you. So let's jump into the first one. Belching would create more airflow. So kind of a funny response to one, but again, the main issue is that airflow. Customers expected something else, and I'm going to kind of jump into the second one too because I think it kind of tells the same story, is because the fan is way smaller than you think. That's the title of it, but they mentioned the same thing. Size was underrated and it had hardly no air volume. So this customer even said that they had several Lasco fans before, so they're very fond of this brand, but their reputation in this brand, both these customers are thinking the same thing. They bought it because they had brand trust in this, that generally when they buy from this brand, it has this high power behind it. And they had nothing telling them that this was going to be otherwise. Yes, this is a USB-C fan. Yes, this is a smaller fan, but they're still expecting the same quality from it. They're not expecting an industrial grade fan, but still expecting high performance from Lasco. So this is all just misunderstanding from the customer and not understanding what the product was and how it should perform. So 2 reviews, neither one is a product failure, but this next one, that's where things change. So this one's called Fan Won't Last. So bought it for the bedside table. After 10 less uses, the fan broke off. So, or the plug for it broke off. So again, the main issue is this is an actual product failure. Your cord isn't supposed to break after 10 uses. And they actually, I think the main reason they wrote the 1-star is because they had to pay $11 to get a replacement, which is insane considering they even mentioned it's half the cost of buying a brand new fan. So this is also kind of a customer service side of it too, and how well does this product potentially perform alongside with how well they're getting customer feedback. But either way, this is defect number 1. I need you to remember this one because it's going to be the only time this entire video that I'm going to say that. From here, the story completely changes. So this one mentions horrible, but they say horrible because they can barely feel the air. So again, misunderstanding. They expect it to be a lot better. The next one actually mentions that it's noisy. So there's a sound misunderstanding too, because it mentions it's supposed to be quiet. This one mentions a little bit more like it might be rattling. They actually use some business cards to solve between. So this might be a QA issue, maybe. Again, maybe something to look into, but in the end, they're describing the noise of it and how it should be performing in that side. And then this other one below it, same idea, very small power, and they assume the brand's good. You know, this is another brand reputation. Brand reputation is saving this product right now because they're looking at this and they're saying, hey, I want to buy it because it's Lasco. And they have a different expectation for the power, even though it's a USB-C plug-in. And it's not supposed to have that much power compared to how others perform. This one is still underperforming. And again, the next one under it, again, weak. Looks like the larger version on high, but just a whisper of air. So again, same expectations for these. So I'm going to pause here too. We're at 7 reviews in, and only one of them is a genuine quality defect. Just one. And we're almost done too. And before review 8, I want you to ask yourself if that number will change as we go on. So this next one, not as quiet as advertised. Again, similar. They expect low noise. and they're not getting it. This one again is saying that the motor is the one making the noise too. So this is a similar theme. What's going on with the motor? Why is it so loud? Are we selling it like this? Or is this something different that's potentially happening? Again, not what I expected. This fan was extremely small, not exactly what I expected, and that's what I get for not reading the dimensions. So, again, somebody else actually mentioned in the PDP that they called out there are dimensions in it. They just didn't understand it. So, they need a better way, and I'll review the areas in the PDP that are misleading, and we could see where the opportunities are in said PDP. So this is the last review, and I'll give you a hint. We're right back to where we started. Very low power. We're still on the airflow or the lack of airflow. Mentioned they are highly disappointed, and this one was the big call out to other small blower fans that they had better airflow. They were pleased from those, but this one just was highly disappointing, even though they had the brand reputation of Losco attached with it. So, again, we started with airflow and we ended with airflow. It was the most common reason in this entire breakdown, showing up 5 times. One real defect, 9 customer misunderstandings. And that's how this product dropped to a 3.3 star. And the root cause, we'll jump up to the actual product description page. The root cause of this is something that every Amazon seller needs to write down, because you're looking at this product, you could see right here, small, quiet, portable. So people understand that it's going to be small. People also understand that this is going to be quiet, but people have higher expectations. And again, when you're the company and you're putting in quiet, you could say this is your quietest fan. Out of all Losco fans, this is the quietest fan. But how should the customer understand that too? There's not a real great way of doing that outside of just saying quiet once. And they showed it here. Like decimal rating is something that customers just don't understand. But if you put it on your page and you say, oh, this is between, if you show a range, I've seen this for decibels put a lot, and it helps customers understand it. If you have a decibel range from a quiet refrigerator, the sound that your refrigerator makes, compared to a jet engine or high car traffic, something like a car horn, where does it fall in between? How can you help clarify that? Maybe make it a bit different, a bit more in the house. So maybe you have the refrigerator compared to a washing machine, compared to maybe a dishwasher in between. Where is it on that scale? How can you help the customer understand what that level of quiet means? And I'll jump into the size a bit too. Right here, this is the product description page that they were mentioning, and the size that they were mentioning. Look, they were mentioning this 5.5 inches. Customer might breeze through this really quickly. They might not understand what 5.5 or how it really translates. And to be fair, the other pictures are also misleading. We'll come back to this one on airflow. Look at this photo. Again, you want to have your product in your PDP high up and you want to have it close in the photo, but look how the laptop looks in the background too. The laptop looks extremely large with the fan in front too. So you're getting a different expectation of what that fan size is just because you have a laptop in the background, and it makes it pretty deceiving. This is the one that gives you the best idea of the size because you're right next to this handle, but not all suitcases are the same, and the customer isn't going to immediately understand this as a great size comparison. And all of these photos, they're on the corner of tables, edges of tables, with a lot in the background. Nothing showing a direct size by size comparison of how it should be. You don't know how big this lamp is. I mean, you could see the faucet back here, and it's probably smaller than the faucet, but it looks at a similar size. So customers can be deceived by all of these product photos. And to jump into the high versus low airflow, look at this photo. This is Lasco's brand photo. Look at the airflow in this photo. It's coming from one side of the room all the way over to this family on the left side of the room. That is what customers are expecting, and they're getting what one customer referred to as a belch, like a whisper of air. This is not reaching the other side of the room like this is mentioning. This is partially where these customers are getting confused on this product. So that's all the breakdown for this item. If you've got product sitting below 4 stars and you want me to do a breakdown for you, just drop your ASIN number below and I'll pick it up in the next video. We did 2 previous videos doing something similar, one on a vegetable chopper that I'll link here, and an electric fly swatter that I will also link to. Feel free to check those out to get a better idea of how to break down these products as well.